Happy Fiber Witch Festival Day! Technically, it started last night with the gathering at the Circle Stitches, but today is the day. This is like when all the festivities are happening. So I'm up bright and early. Figured I would show you my entire fit. We're gonna start with my tote from the Circle of Stitches, which I was so happy and extremely lucky that I was able to get this early. So this is gonna be at the festival, but they did have pre-orders. But since I rolled into town last night for the festivities, they had a couple of these left. I'm gonna decorate this. So I have some crochet pieces that I'm gonna add onto it. And I also have an embroidery kit with me today. Muse 2320's The Siren and Pirates, or Pirates and Sirens. You choose the side that you want. Obviously you can tell I'm gonna use that red. Well, it's called coral. So we have the coral, the kelp. Those will definitely be the colors, especially with the fact that the bag is already a blue. I think it's kind of perfect together. So I'm gonna be working on this today. It's a nice compact project that I can take with me. I also have one of the pieces that I'll be working on. This is the sea garland. It looks poisonous, which is kind of what I was going for. So I made a bunch of these in kelp and also some of the other greens. It's top to bottom, what I'm wearing. So the jacket actually came from last year when I was here at Salem from Lively Ghosts, and it was a lot longer, so I cropped it short to go with the rest of my fit, added the patches, and also this brooch that I found. Really loving a good brooch moment. The fishnet cropped sweater. It is double crochet fishnet for the entire piece. So front panel, back panel, and I didn't taper it off because I knew I was gonna need a little bit of extra warmth. I didn't want it to be like V-neck or anything like that. 2 plain panels. I didn't add any ribbing to it on the bottom either. It's supposed to be just have a lot of movement to it and really showcase the yarn that I have. And then this is like totally new to me. I sewed my skirt. This is the second skirt that I have officially sewed, which has been something on my bucket list that I've been wanting to do lately. This was like the night before coming to Salem. I had a few hours left over and I thought, you know what would be great? Let's start to sew. And we got a little ruffle action on the bottom. And of course, pockets. I can fit 4 hanks of yarn in here, and I did reverse. So we have the spirit of creating. That's what this pattern design is called. And so they had a white version, and then they had like reversed black, and then all the other things are white on the inside for my pocket. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything for today's fit. And now I'm going to take you with, we're going to kind of meander around Salem a little bit, celebrate the Fiber Witch Festival. The market itself takes place in Town Hall. We're waiting in line, which it was absolutely gorgeous this year. Sunny, not an ounce of rain, standing in line and being able to chit chat and talk with other creators. There's an overarching theme for the festival every single year. And also this is only the 3rd year that this has been held, which is wild to think just because of how well it's run. Just shows how much love, care, and attention goes into this festival for everybody involved in it. Energy that everybody brings to this is so positive. We're like chatting about what we're creating, what we're most excited to see in the festival, the artists that we've been following, because they did a really good job of showcasing ahead of time some of their custom pieces that they're going to be bringing to this festival. One human in particular that I was obsessively following on Instagram, Home Row. Last year, I was lucky enough to bring home one of their project bags. So when I saw their creation for this year, it was an absolute must. I wanted to make sure that I was there as soon as possible. They create the design for the fabric. They have little custom tags on here. Everything is very well thought through. We have this pocket for some notions. I mean, you can put whatever you want in it, but that's what I ended up putting in mine. It's the perfect size for it. Inside is even custom to go not only with just like the project bag in and of itself, but the theme. They went so hard with the theme. I just love it when every single booth had something to go with this theme. If they had a custom colorway or a custom notion or a custom print, whatever it was that was at their booth, the theme was Song of the Sea. So when they made the announcement that was going to be the theme for 2026, they also had a Pinterest board attached to it. So vendors and participants alike had time to think things through. If like me, they wanted to create a crochet piece to wear while they were at the festival, we had time to prepare for it. That is something that I think is super unique about this too, is that many of them had pieces that were made just for this event. Yes, they might have a little bit extra after the festival, but it was created for this festival. Like, this was the celebration of the sea, and the yarn colorways reflect that, the notion, the project bags. So it's just this really special moment in time that we're all there together and we collectively have this main inspiration, but everybody takes it a totally different direction. So there's two floors. There's an upper and a lower floor, and the lower floor has these velvet curtains that you can walk through. Even though this is predominantly a Fiber Witch festival, there were other things there as well. There was a broom booth, tea, handmade rugs, custom screen printing. They had a really well-rounded list of vendors. And the way that they were set up too, you would go to a couple of booths that had yarn, and then it would be broken up with something different, and then turn the corner, you'd have another vendor with yarn. Excellent job of timing people coming in and out, because there was a capacity of Town Hall. It is not a huge vending site. I ended up going both of the days. So I got my tickets on Saturday. I waited in line. You could also pre-order them online. So I went Saturday around 1 p.m. After 3, from 3 to 5, it was free to get into the venue, but you only had a couple hours that way. And I knew that I wanted to get there a little bit early. I wanted to chit chat with some of my favorite creators, and there's just a lot of things to see. So I wanted to make sure that I had time on Saturday. And then Sunday, I wanted to come back to see if it was any different from Saturday to Sunday. And I will say it definitely was. A lot of people that I talked to in line on Sunday said that they had already come on Saturday, did an entire walkthrough, top level and bottom level, then went back to their B&B and thought about everything. Then right early in the morning on Sunday, came back to the festival and knew exactly what they wanted. And that's how they tackled the market, which I think is very smart, because on Saturday, I had a couple in mind that I wanted. The project bag for sure. Also, lamb string yarn. I knew that I wanted to check them out too, but there were a few people that surprised me with their colorways. So I definitely got distracted and made a few decisions of, okay, I think I'm gonna want this for this project. I really, really love this color. There was a red that I fell in love with that I was like, okay, I just need to grab at least a tank top's worth. So Sunday morning was very busy. Everybody was there with determination. They knew what they wanted to get. They knew the projects, their direction. And then it kind of tapered off through the day and became a little bit more leisurely at about 1:30, 2 o'clock. So that was my entire walkthrough of the market for Saturday and Sunday. 10 out of 10 cannot suggest it enough. It is just pure magic. Both days, whatever day you decide to go, or if you're like me and you feel like you need a little bit of extra time, totally suggest going both days. Okay, let's get into the yarn that I brought back now to the yarn dungeon and what I'm going to be creating with it. And as I've had a couple of days to really think about what I want to create with this yarn, it is taking everything in me not to start every single project today. But I was good and I got a journal, and every project that I have, I wrote it in a specific date and circled and underlined as like, here, this is the day that you can start this project. So I don't want to feel like anything is rushed or forgotten. Basically, I have my next month of projects completely plotted out. Okay, so let's start with what you get at the door when you walk into the Fiber Witch Festival. This is the pamphlet that they'll hand you. Fiber Witch Festival 2026, Song of the Sea. Here is the logo for the year. They have everything that is happening for the weekend. Highlighted Fiber Witch Festival Market on Saturday and Sunday when the hours are, and that is also at Old Town Hall. Here they have a little map for you, which I think is super nice. Salem is a pedestrian-friendly city. Underline, underline, underline. It is super walkable in this area. So we have Town Hall. There are many shops. There's museums just in a couple block radius from this place. Places to eat, amazing places to get coffee. You can basically spend the entire weekend just in this area. And then on the backside here, we have all of the vendors that are going to be showing up to the Fiber Witch Festival and what floor they're on as well. And then we have this, which is basically your invitation to the Fiber Witch Festival. We have the dates of it, and then also on the back, you're cordially invited, and it tells you the main highlights of the weekend. Okay, so we have those two pieces. So let's start with Toil and Trouble. I ended up getting 2 different versions of their special colorway for the Fiber Witch Festival, Call of the Deep. In fingering weight yarn, I got the Confetti Neon. Since it's 85% superwash merino and 15% nylon, I was heavily leaning towards a pair of socks. Super cozy because it's wool, and then also we have those moody colors grounding everything together. Hand-dyed in small batches by Fiber Witches, Toil and Trouble. And then I also grabbed in the exact same color in DK weight. It's also very interesting to see how the same colorway strikes differently on different fiber weights. So same exact color, but we have 100% superwash merino wool on this one. Oh yeah, so for the fingering weight yarn, there was 437 yards, and the DK weight, there is 218 yards. The purple on this one is so moody, so dark. I liked having one that was just this colorway focusing. As much as I love the neon, that one was super fun, but this does a great job of actually showcasing the colorway and just letting that sing. It doesn't need any help. It is beautiful in and of itself. So yeah, there we have Toil and Trouble. Next up, we have Spin Cycle yarn. This is something that Teresa actually drew my attention to. It was at Circle of Stitches. So when we went and visited the shop on Friday, there was so much beautiful yarn on the wall that I almost went right over this because, again, there was just like so many things distracting me, but she knew this was exactly what she wanted to go for. It is the custom colorway for the Fiber Witch Festival, Cabinet of Curiosities, 100% American wool. I ended up getting it in sports weight, so did Teresa, and then Sarah actually ended up grabbing one too, but she got it in a bulky weight yarn. And even though Teresa and I both got it in DK weight yarn, they are totally different pieces. You can even see from this one compared to this, there is variation in the colors. Each hank is just alive. This is gonna be one that I'm gonna set aside an entire day just to play around with. So I wanted to make sure I had two of them. Again, I love the purples, the greens all throughout it. It'll be interesting to see how much of this brown actually showcase as I pull everything out of the hank farm. So yeah, this is gonna be an entire day's worth of just playing around with it for me. This next one from Lambstring Yarn, they had their yarn displayed, basically an entire wall of yarn, and then their custom color was on the top. They had little baskets on there, and I thought that was super fun and such a great idea because that's what I was going there for. I wanted to see the custom color. Having it pulled out from the main hanks of yarn that they had on the wall was such a great idea. So their color was called Sea Hag, and I ended up getting one that has 80% superwash merino wool, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. That 10% cashmere makes this feel like absolute butter. So what I was thinking was a tank top, very cooling tank top, middle of the summer type of ordeal. I'm gonna do some sort of lacy stitch to go with it, have it be very drapey, very airy. And even though all the yarn that they had was very beautiful, this was the one. The bits of green throughout it here, and the fact that it's called Sea Hag. So there we have it, Lambstring Yarn, back in the yarn dungeon. Sinful Yarn. This was a really tough decision for me because they had so many incredible colorways. There were sparkles, there were solids, there were variegated, but I just couldn't help it. I needed a red, and this one is called Violent Little Things. I grabbed it in fingering weight yarn. It's 85% superwash merino wool, 15% nylon. These two together, I did think about maybe working as a pattern together. I could do a snood. We Don't Eat Our Allies is the name of this one. Fingering weight yarn, 92% superwash merino wool, 8% polyester. We have the little sparkles and everything through it, and it's not scratchy, which is something that I always pick up and feel with the metallic strands or the sparkle. Is it going to irritate my skin? Because whatever I do with it, it's going to be on my skin, whether it be a pair of socks, snood, an accessory, or a sweater, anything like that. I can't have it being irritating to my skin, and this is really, really soft. So there's pops of confetti and sparkle in it, which is just super special in and of itself. The next booth that I went to was Dragon Horde Yarn. I ended up getting some roving from them in one of their custom colors called Kraken Kissing Booth. The poppy green, the poppy purple, the neon intensity of it, it is just so fun. It was definitely the main thing that was calling me on their table. Another vendor that had a lot of variety just for this theme. Have to open it up here a little bit so you can see all of the colors Never get tired of neon green. I think this is going to be so interesting seeing how this spins up with the way that the colors are laid. I don't think I need my blending board at all for this one. We're just going to let the color do what it does. Start from one side, work all the way around on my spinning wheel. Who knows? Thick, thin, so many possibilities. So I can't really decide on a specific project for this one. I also got the Song of the Sea mini sets. This is one that was really stunning on the table package. They had the custom sticker, the custom colorway, and then the Song of the Sea down here. Again, we have Crack and Kissing Booth in fingering weight yarn. Next, we have Haunted Waters. I love a good Tweety yarn, and especially seeing how it strikes with the colorways for this theme. Next up is Cursed Reef, a beautiful little teal color here. Where Monsters Are Born. That one is very interesting. Dark, moody colors, splashes of green throughout it. Song of the Tide, a little beautiful purple. Next up is Singing Siren, a little darker purple action. She Who Dwells in the Deep. Light purple with little bits of almost silver in it. Mooncaster. Into the Veins of the Drowning. Bubblegum pink. We have Starfish. A variegated collection, Sirens Eat You Nom Nom. This was also available in the Roving. She sells seashells. Coral color with little pops of yellow and darker pink in here. So there is the entire Song of the Sea collection in mini hank form. This next one, I was drawn to the mini set collection first, and then eventually found the colorway that they had for the festival. So this is their Witch's Brew in worsted weight yarn, 100% superwash merino wool. I'm loving the moody color altogether of purples. It's a variegated yarn. And lately, I haven't been using a lot of worsted weight. I've been sticking with fingering weight yarn, DK weight yarn. So this is going to be a nice project change up for me. Then the mini hank collection was inspired by Kiki's delivery service. 6 minis, 20 grams each, so 120 grams in total. 80% superwash merino wool and 20% nylon. We have a couple of variegated, a few that are solid colors, but they all need to stay together in a project to play around with the color combination. This last vendor completely stole my heart. Every single colorway that they had, I could think of something that I wanted to create with it, and it was very hard to narrow down because it was yarn colorways inspired by books, and like that combination together is just so good. All of the colors are just so moody and intense. So I was at that booth for quite a while. Bookish hand-dyed yarn. This is called Victor's Wrench. All of them are the same. 70% superwash merino wool, 20% yak, which is incredibly soft, 10% nylon, 100 grams in total, 437 yards. So I think I got all in fingering weight yarn. All of the colors that I narrowed it down to, I wanted to really showcase them. So they're all going to become some form of wearable piece of crochet. This one, I'm thinking a tank top. So I got 2 of them to play around with. Super eerie, super murky type of green. And of course I had to grab a red, which is called Mina Murray. Dark crimson red with black sprinkled throughout it. Really, they could all play together and I could make a sweater from them. But at the time I was thinking tank top with this, tank top with that. But honestly, if I wanted to do like a spike stitch or something paired together with the last color that I got, which is called Dracula, that would be a super killer sweater. So Dracula has the black, the dark gray, little bit of crimson throughout it. It's another one that's gonna be very interesting to see once I cake it all up, because it looks like we're gonna get some color surprises in here of how it actually is speckled onto the yarn. I ended up getting 3 for this color. I mean, it's Dracula. So now that I'm looking at them all together, I don't know. What do we think? Should I make it into a sweater? like a lightweight summer sweater. There really is no wrong choice with this, but the Dracula that was sitting in this nice little pile right here immediately went right to this one. So that is the yarn that I'm going to be playing around with. The first one I'm going to be starting with is this roving, spinning it into my own yarn. It's actually a goal of mine that I had throughout the summer to work with my spinning wheel a little bit more, play around with some different techniques. So that's it for me today. Thanks for hanging out and coming along with me to Salem for the Fiber Witch Festival. They have already announced the dates that it's going to be in April for 2027. Make sure you follow them on Instagram, follow their pages. That way you can be notified right away when the vendors pop up and everything just starts rolling, because even though this event has just happened, they are super passionate and committed to it. They're ready to start going for next year's as well. For tonight, that is it. So thanks again for joining me in Salem and back in the yarn dungeon to chat about some yarn. I hope you have a super spooky rest of your night, and I will see you in my next video.